So the website's got to a really good place. So on the front end, everything's looking great. In the back end, it's trying to now refactor this, try and break this down. We've got a components folder that's just frankly huge, kind of does away with the idea of it being a folder. There's a few extra files in there that don't need to be there anymore, so I've cleaned those out. But I want to try and show you how I've sort of worked through this. If we look at the film setup at the moment, again, there's a lot going on here. We've got a similar film card that goes on in the bottom, and it's got this functionality, and that's how when you let's search for a film. So when I click on this one, this was the initial setup. Someone in my group had done this so that we could actually get this carousel going on down here. Now that comes from this functionality here, and then each one of these films is a film card. So that was how it's split up. So we've got, if we have a look there, so that's what a film card looks like. I do note that it's not formatted there, it's all in a straight line, but we'll sort that out later. So then when we move into the front end again of the website, so this is very, very similar. We've managed to use the same functionality. Now if we take a look at this, it's not similar, popular films, here we go. So we've got, what's going on here is we've got quite different logic happening, but actually for the most part it is the same setup as the carousel. So I saw an opportunity here to try and pull this together. So what I'm going to show you now is the end result, if I flip onto the branch that I did, of how I've put all of these together, linked them up, and then how I've refactored these ones so that it's not quite as that is. So let's close that and get checkout, refactor the filing. Right, so straight away, actually that's in another pull request that I'm taking out files that aren't needed. See here, components broken down now into carousels, film, layout, results. So the layout, these are all things that sit above and below the main information we have, and home, if I show you that, just sets it up really. I've changed the one, if we close that, we had results. Now that was previously search results, but as we increase this to discover films, etc., that's basically where all of the output goes. So just taking a look in one of those, lots of information, and here we go. So all of that outputs a results card. So that happens in one setup, and the result card's there. So nothing's different there. In the film, now you can see what's happened is that bit I showed before is now got a new component called carousel, and we send to it, from what I could see from the two things, it's the list of films, and then if you can see here where it says popular films, we had a title, and you'll see this highlight. Okay, so that actually comes from another section that we had where you highlight the name of the film. So you'll see what that looks like in a bit. So let's see now the carousels. Now, the popular films, let's start with that one. So because the logic is different and it's got a different fetch request, I've kept that the same for now, but there's potential to open that up a bit more. But we can see we've got a carousel, we've sent down the film, and I took all the logic that got put through to that one for films. And we've got here title as a message, and highlight, well, there isn't anything highlighted, so I've left that blank. Now if we go to the carousel itself, you can see what happened. So you may not remember, but there was a very similar logic. I've changed up the name so that it is a little bit easier. I've just called this prop so I can access each one a little bit more easily there. Title, highlight, and so if we just click on this one, so that's this part here. That's how I achieved the coloured part there as well. But you can see the films go through, goes to the carousel card, and then that's all the same and carousel cards there. But now that's meant that also I could split the CSS that was there onto its own one. The card, in fact, this similar film one now, that can also go. That will go in the next. I'll click that onto the next one as well. So yeah, so so I've got to remove this part, but where we can see it's really majorly reduced the amount of repeated code there, keeping this as dry as possible, and still, as we can see, working exactly as it did before.